Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. We're gonna do a basic look. We're just gonna break it down to the basics. I've already done all of my color correcting. Now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do my face. I'm gonna be using a different bronzer today. I'm gonna be using tan lines. I love it. I'm still gonna be using my favorite indigo, and I'm gonna ombre my cheeks. It's gonna be a good time. All right, so let's get her started. I'm gonna prep my face. So I have oily skin, and I do like to prep my face with setting spray. This helps my color corrector stay. This helps combat the oiliness. This is a setting spray called Thank Me Later. It's from Amazon, and I don't even know. So I don't even know. It's $15.99 on Amazon. There is a link in the description with a link to Thank Me Later, I believe. And it's really good. It absorbs the oil. So it's a really good starting point if you have oily skin. I think it's all troubleshooting and finding what works for you. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to go into my main highlight, which right now it is Mango. It's this beauty right here. I've been using it a lot. I've actually had it for a long time. This is from last summer. So if you're worried about the expiration of our colors, don't. So, okay. This is Seint Makeup Cream Base 3D Foundation. I've already color corrected, which I've used all of these. This is Demi Y01. I used it under my eyes to correct the darkness. That's why my under eyes look a little brighter than usual. I have tan lines on. I draped that around my melasma spot and up. I think it's working pretty well. And then Aspen for my redness and discoloration. None of it is covered. I want to be clear. I have muted. I have camouflaged. I have not covered anything. So I just like to clarify that color correcting is not color covering. So I am going to use the blush and bronzer brush and the detail brush. These are my two favorite brushes. I like them if you're just starting out. This is a great starter brush. Everybody says get the basics. 4 colors, 1 brush, a palette 4. I disagree. I don't think that's the best option. I think you should get your 4 colors, but I also think you should get a bronzer bundle because you get your brush, and then for a couple dollars more, you get a bronzer. So get a palette 8, have room to grow. That is the basics to me. So anyways, hi, hello, how are you again? And we're gonna get started. I'm gonna go into Mango first. Sometimes I do my contour first, sometimes I do my main first. There's no wrong way. Do what works for you. Do what gives you the results that work for you. So I always like to give different options. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you not to wipe into your tins. It can cause uneven coverage. It can cause clumpiness. It's just not the way to do it. That is the wrong way. You want to stamp. You just want to tap into it. And then I always start down at the lower part of my face, and I would just basically put on the beard. Now I have all this discoloration, and I just stamp this over. Now I just tapped in a few times into my tin, and I'm able to swirl this into the crease of my nose to get rid of any redness and discoloration. And then I'm able to stipple this over my discoloration and cover it. This is where I've covered it, but also my bronzer, my contour. It's all foundational coverage, 80% pigmentation. So I can cover this without a heavy amount of makeup on. I want to tell you to do your makeup as if you have no problems with your skin. You've got perfect skin. It's flawless. Put your makeup on as if it's flawless, because once you've put in all of your foundational coverage on, you may not need to cover at the beginning. Then you'll end up with too much makeup feeling like a wedding cake. This is very easy makeup. This is also very different makeup. It's not a bottle of liquid foundation that needs to be set with powder. So tapping in, as you can see, my bristles are not clumped together. If your bristles are clumping together, you have too much makeup. You do. I don't know what to tell you at that point. Stipple it all over, flip it to the fluffy side and blend it, and then go clean the brush. There's that way to do it. If you feel like you've applied too much, take this fluffy end and just swirl it over, and it'll pick up any excess with leaving your skin looking flawless. All right. It's all troubleshooting. You're not going to get it the first time. You may not, but you may not. And that's okay, because guess what? I had it wrong for well over a week. I could feel my makeup, my hair stuck to my face. It's a transition. Even I put too much on. I still sometimes am like, whoa, Amanda, what are you doing to yourself? You don't need that much. But just stamp in a couple times. Stippling to me is what spreads it and what blends it all at the same time. So I can tap this around, and then I can tap it around. I tap it to put it on, and I tap it to blend it together. I swirl into the crease. I never want to apply direct cream right here because it'll gather, it'll clump, it'll look cakey, cracky, thick, because you just need a really small amount. So again, applying as if you don't need much. I only bring it up right here. I'm not applying any of my cream highlight up into the top part. I only put it where I need it. All right, next color I'm going into is my brightener. This is just a simple, basic, everyday face. And I'm gonna go in between my brows and up, and then down my nose, onto my Cupid's bow, and then right here on my chin. I'm just trying to create a touch of lightness. So this will give me an even skin tone, but it'll also be giving me some dimension. So I'm taking that brightening and I'm pushing this up into my forehead. It's gonna fade out, and then when I add my contour, the way that they merge together creates a balance where I don't need that main highlight I have down here up here. This is also really helpful if you're a hat wearer. You hat people. I've never found a hat I can wear with this mop. So typically with hat wearers and sunglass wearers, you end up with brightness here or brightness here, and then down here it's a lot darker. So the best thing I can tell you is don't use your main highlight up here. I never do. I'm not a hat wearer, and I never do. So what I'm gonna tell you to do is this. So I put that brightening up here. I'm gonna take my detail brush. I'm gonna go into indigo, and I'm tapping it. My brush is not clumped together, and I'm gonna tap across my forehead, and I do bring it down a little bit right here. So again, like I said, we're gonna add dimension here. I'm giving myself foundational coverage. I'm contouring my forehead. I'm giving dimension, an even skin tone. I'm gonna put this up here, and then I'm gonna pull it down or pull it up. It's whatever you want. And so now I have this beautiful forehead that has the coverage it needs, has the dimension, and I don't have excess product that I don't need. These are the weirdest pants I've ever worn. These are pants I'm not showing you because I'm unsure about them. They're very interesting. They're nothing like anything I've ever seen before. They're pants with stirrups. I can show you maybe a little bit, but they do this. But they're not supposed to be coveralls. They can't. So they're pants. They're very different. Anyways, I kind of like them, but we're debating. Okay. I'm going to go into that detail brush again, and I'm pushing onto the edge, and I'm going to hang this. Okay, so you can see my natural shadowing. You can see my cheekbone. I like lift on my cheekbone, so I'm going to go above that shadow. I'm going to hang it back just like that. It's basically the width of the brush right there. Okay, same thing over here. Now I have this melasma spot, and so I'm going to go just over top of it. It's going to help cover it, mask it, just like that. I pull this up towards my temple. This is gonna give my cheekbones and my face some lift. All right, now we're gonna slim the jaw, go in front of your earlobe, down, down under, but bringing it up just a bit to create that shadow look. And then by going in front of your earlobe, you're sculpting the jaw. Sculpting the jaw. If you have a fuller face and you wanna sculpt it down, I like to hide my chin, so I bring it all the way across. But if you're just wanting to sculpt back here and you have more of a round shaped face and you want to chisel it out, right here, just go like this. That's it. In front of the earlobe and down just a bit, and then blend it, and then just give one last pull, and it'll sculpt things in the back, make it look nice. I'm going to take that brush with an angle, and I'm just tapping into that cheekbone, and I'm just kind of flicking it and feathering it up. I'm under blending this, so it still looks quite harsh. And that's because when I add my blush, when I add any bronzer, anything with it, it's not gonna blend it away. The nose. By adding brightener, it widened my nose. I still like to slim my nose even without brightener. Okay, so I'm gonna take my finger, I'm gonna put it on each finger here. And I'm gonna think about the fact that here I'm narrow, here I'm narrow. I have a bump and a bubble. I don't even think it's really a bubble, but I like to have a nice structured slim nose. So I'm gonna let out up here, but then I'm gonna come in on my bump, let out, and I'm just basically making a straight line by following where the in is, where the out is, and coming up a little higher on my bump. I can go right here and I can just square it off and slim it down. Nice and straight. I'm gonna take my detail brush. I like using my fingers for that. The warmth of my skin helps with placement and blending, warms it up. And then I'm just gonna take this brush and I'm gonna tap it, push it into the brows for shadowing, bring it around, bring it up. I'm going to use my finger again just to tap that brightening right here. And that's my nose. It's a nice looking nose. And that's all that I do to contour my nose. It's a little tricky. I want to add a little more brightening. So I'm putting just a little on the tip. I'm going to go right here and then right here. Take that finger, tap it, and it just structured it just a little more than I want. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's get into some blush. I'm going to do my under eyes last. That's what I like to do. So I love this combo. It's a great lip combo. It's a great cheek combo. Together, separate, it's whatever. It's good. So it's Saint Tropez and Sangria. I always do Sangria first. And I hang this, I smile, so I can see where my apples are. You can see the shadowing just appears. And I always place Sangria on the apples of my cheeks. Now, as you mature, you use volume in your cheeks, so you smile to find them. And that's, I also have that redness there, and the Saint Tropez helps rein it in so that the redness of Sangria, which is a nice bright color, doesn't pull it through. So now I'm going to take Sangria, boom, and I'm going to come up high, right there, okay? Right here. Wipe it off. I always do that, and then I end up with weird pink colorful hands. I'm going to take the small end of the blush and bronzer, and I'm just going to tap this together. They're just going to blend. See, let's go to the fluffy end. I like the fluffy end. I always pinch it just to condense it down, but it's still fluffy, and look at how pretty that is. And you can add to it and build it. I always start small and build up, but it's such a pretty ombre together. I really like it. So I'm going to add a little more Sangria up at this top part. I push it up into the temple just for that lift. Maybe add a little to the tip of my nose, just a little bit. Go to the fluffy end. There we go. Okay, let's add bronzer. Tan Lines bronzer. I always use the fluffy end. I fluff the brush just to spread out the bristles. And I'm just going to add it to the high points over here for a nice subtle bronzy glow. It's a very light glow. I'm very tan, so it's just a touch of sun because I already have a touch of sun. That's it. Okay, let's do under eyes. I am going to, what brush do I want to use? I'm going to use my finger. So I'm going into White Peach, and I tapped my finger onto it. Your warmth of the skin is going to pick this product up. So you're going to start under your trough, and you're going to bring it up and focus it on that middle inner corner, right like that, okay? Then we're gonna go right here, and we're just gonna pop this out here, and I angle it up because I wanted to pull my eyes up. I'm gonna take the small, or the big end of my blush and bronzer, I'm gonna pinch it like I did on my cheeks, and I am going to tap this back and forth. I might switch sides, I don't know. But I like the fluffiness of the brush because I don't like a lot of movement under my eyes because I don't want to mature them. But you see how pretty and light that is? It blends in really nice and naturally. When you're working with an under eye on a soft tissue, you just don't want a lot of product. So using this fluffy end just to pinch it like this is really, really nice. Just like so. All right. If you want to set your makeup, you can. If you have oily skin, grab that Vanilla Dust setting powder and just tap it where you get oily. I get oily on my forehead, on my chin, around my nose. I always start on my cheekbone and I bring it down because I don't want it to add texture. That's where I get oily. I'm going to grab my setting spray. I'm going to spray it. And this is where I look at my face and I say, what needs more attention? Did something not get covered? Do I need more pink on my, I do like a bold cheek, and I'm not getting that out of those. So I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna tap on both. So it's gonna be on both sides. And I'm just gonna add to my cheeks, I want Sangria, screw that. Let's put some Sangria on there. And then I'm just gonna bring this down. I do really love a good bold cheek. And I like just pushing it. I like to put it on with one end and I like to blend it down with the fluffy end. I feel like it gives you a seamless finish. Going in with both first, a little more Sangria, popping that in the area, flipping it to the fluffy end. I prefer to have a pink cheek. And I like the brightness under the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna just feel like I need more attention there. Okay. just the small end of the detail brush for fine tuning. The under eyes can be a bit tricky, especially if you have puffiness, which I do get puffiness. Let's just remember, you can't take texture away. It's there to stay, but you don't have to accentuate it. Fine lines. I'm sorry I keep messing with my hair. It's just, I haven't worn it curly in such a long time. I'm not used to this color. It's a new me. Okay, so that's my face. That's the basics. The basic, really simple, everyday look. This is buildable. Start light, build. Don't start out of the gate full force. It's just not gonna work out. So that's my face. If you wanna try it, message me and have a great day.